GOOD morning, everyone. Isn't that just a great way to start? For you, it might not be morning, but I got to tell you, that's one of my happiest memories in recent cruising. For years, I would hear the cruise director somewhere on the ship. It'd be early in the morning, and you'd hear those bells bing, 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 and I'd clearly open my eyes and I would hear, oh, we're sailing towards the whole world. And yeah, I had no idea what was being said. But I was on the Discovery Princess some years ago, and its inaugural year. And I heard Cruise Director Duvall, who was great at everything he did, clearly and happily and with intention, saying GOOD morning. And I have to tell you, that has become such a great way for me to kick off my day in addition to the memories. So I wish you all GOOD sailing. Over here, we have some traditions in our household and in our business, and I'm sure that you do too. And for years, it has always been to gift each other travel. That should be no surprise. Long before we got into the travel business, myself and my husband and life partner and business partner, who you've probably met before, the dynamic Dave Rittenhouse, whose Sunday tradition, by the way, is going to start as soon as I'm done with this recording. And that's the day of football over here. I know, go birds. Um, we have said on Mother's Day or Father's Day or birthdays or anniversaries, anytime, and that was, you know, if we're gonna go shopping for gifts, I think this year I would really like, and it was always travel related. And being pretty close to the port of Los Angeles, it was almost always a quick cruise, right? And because we were raising kids and needed to not spend so much time away. This year, for the first time, we have decided to actually cruise on a holiday and make it an annual tradition. We're going to be going on the Carnival Radiance. We're just days away from that. And we're going to be taking a 5-day Thanksgiving cruise. I'll talk a little bit more about booking cruises in a bit. But what made me think about it is we are just days away from so many of you who are getting on a ship for their very first or their very 30th time for a holiday. And I got to tell you, this year's just a little bit different than some of the other years. So for your first time cruisers, it's not always like this. For your seasoned cruisers, it's not always like this. We have a lot of things to be joyful and grateful for, and being able to travel is certainly one of them. But the thing that's just a little bit different is that you are traveling on a holiday, which has a lot of people with the same great idea. And the other thing that is there's some airport restrictions going on right now. There's some overbooked ships that are going out right now. There are a lot of things that make it just a little bit different, right? So I want you to go ahead and among everything else you're packing, I want you to pack your Cruisitude. I want you to pack everything it is that keeps you happy and positive and acknowledging that everybody is here for the same purpose, and that's the joy of travel. And also, for a lot of us, it's the joy of not having to prep a meal that's huge in our home and clean up a little bit later. There's a there's no shame in starting new traditions, and this is going to be a great one for us. I have to tell you, one of the things that really stunned me about this is when I came up with this idea, without asking my family, mind you, I said, well, this is going to be so good. I'm so into doing this that let me go ahead and book next year. And this was not actually when I came up with the idea, it was the idea of making it an annual thing, right? So it's early October. We're talking, if we count Thanksgiving being towards the end of the month, we're talking 14 months ahead of 2026 Thanksgiving. I could not get a cruise that wasn't already sold out in my favorite rooms and areas or ships that I wanted. So we are going to go with my first choice, which is on Princess Cruises next year. We were able to get something fabulous, but I gotta say, don't wait. If you don't have your favorite travel agent, well, there's always Certainty Adventures Network. And if you do have your favorite travel agent, go there, do that now. Get get what it is. And there's tons of deals happening. So forget the pitch. Let's move on a little bit more. I want to talk to you about some of the great places to go. For us, you're always going to find me jumping on a ship at the Port of Los Angeles and saying, I want to go somewhere local. What is yours? I'd love to hear about it in the comments section. Are you going out of Miami? Are you going out of Galveston? What's your starting place? Are you a European cruiser? We're going to Mexico, right? Can't beat that. Being on the Mexican Riviera this time of year, there's just so much joy in that as well. But I do have some things that I did want to bring up for you. I'm going to remind you again that we're going to be a little bit more shoulder to shoulder, and that is natural for a holiday cruise, right? But I also want to tell you that all of these ships have tons and tons of little nooks and crannies for you to enjoy some quiet space. And if you don't want to be a part of the quiet space and you want to be part of the party, have at it. There's all sorts of things that I don't think you should overlook. And one of them is most of the ships will offer a luncheon on embarkation day that is not an upcharge. They're trying to, everybody heads to the buffet, right? So they're trying to spread you out a little bit. So go take a look when you board for that. I traditionally, lunchtime when I board, I go get Happy Toes. It takes me away from the buffet crowd, right? And it also makes sure that I get there early. Get there early is your mantra, always. I know that our crew sent an email saying that they're going to be leaving, I think, a half hour, an hour earlier. It won't matter because I'm there as soon as they let us be there. The other tip and trick I have for you for all of your cruising and all of your hotel stays and all of your travel on the plane is make sure that you have lots and lots and lots of water. And if you're thinking, I hydrate all the time, I want you to really take a moment and realize this is not your home. This is not your office. This is not your usual walk or run. You're going to be in a lot of recycled air. You're going to be in a lot of places that are sucking things out of the air to keep it clean for you. And there's nothing worse than waking up with a dehydration headache and getting sicker and sicker because you don't know what's going on. Your mantra should be I need 3 times the water that I normally have and should have. And that's how you're going to make sure that it's a GOOD morning. I look forward to hearing how your week went, and I look forward to telling you how my week away is going. Have an amazing time.